Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And in this episode we have some pretty big fights ahead of us. Also I've noticed the game being pretty laggy, and that's because, well, this sometimes happens. It's basically the fact that there's one or two fire giants on the other side of this wall that, due to the SCS awareness, kind of got aggroed to us when we were fighting these two initial guards down here. And basically they just try to initiate their attack command over and over and over again on the other side of this wall, and they can't get through, and that's what's creating the lag here and there. So basically what we're going to do is go downstairs and initiate an area transition here, and I think they should just spawn on us in a second. Alright, there's two of them. Yeah, that's going to be the extent of that. And they would also most certainly interrupt our buffing up process if we left them alive. So there's going to be two less fire giants for us to deal with upstairs, but do not worry. You'll see that the way we're going to do things, we're going to have our hands full of work, and we're going to have plenty of targets here to kill. Because basically when it comes to this area, this upper, inner sanctum of Yaga-Shura's temple, there are three encounters here. Basically in the central western portion of this main chamber, there are some fire giants and fell cats, also accompanied by the high priest of Yaga-Shura, I guess, named Baron. That's one encounter. Also SCS to the east adds a fire, or a red dragon, kind of similar to Firkrag, and you can fight these two fights separately if you pull the giants to the west. I think the dragon rarely joins in, but I usually just barge in and then aggro everyone in this room. And also to the northwest, behind the door, there is Imix, the prince of evil fire creatures also. So basically you can fight these encounters in three separate portions, but what we're going to do is something a little crazier, and we're just going to fight everyone. We're going to invite everyone to our big party and let all of the creatures here join in on the fun. And for that we're going to have to prepare. And this is also going to give us an opportunity to use some of our more powerful spells. But anyway, before we use any spells, there is a trap that we need to disarm. It's here. Also, to enter this door you have to have at least 18 strength with exceptional 100 or more. Otherwise it's going to tell you that you're not strong enough to open it. Also there is a trap going kind of down from this pillar, but if we progress too closely there, someone is going to see us. You can go invisible and the fire giants are not going to see you, but the cleric there, Baron, actually sees invisible. So I'm not going to push my luck, and we're just going to get that one disarmed. This is basically what matters. This is the door leading us to Imix. So anyway, first let's just heal up fully. Let's just get everyone prepared. As you can see, I have also prepared some stuff in between episodes. Let's just give Kirinai a normal potion. Just for the purposes of healing up, let's check out our health status. It's pretty good. Now, when it comes to our preparations, we are going to use some scrolls on Kirinai. Also, I have changed our gear a little bit. Saravok now is going to have our fire resistance gear coming from the ring and the red dragon plate. And Jaheira is going to have her normal equipment. We're going to talk about that in a second. Also, this Scion's blade I am going to put in my bag of holding. It's going to be a while before Saravok gets to use it, and he can get his ring back that he's going to use later. Also, I think this ring of fire resistance can go into Kirinai just in case something goes wrong and she gets too many hits from those fell cats, reducing her fire resistance. You know, she's maxed out at 127. We can even heal you up, Imoen. Why not? Alright, now we're going to apply some long duration pre-buffs. So Jaheira is going to get iron skins, and Kirinai is going to get stone skin. Our mages still have stone skins, so they don't have to do that. We can apply this scroll of 50% fire resistance on Imoen, so she is going to be totally immune. Just making sure. And we're going to cast this protection from fire scroll onto Jaheira. Also, you might have noticed that we have some stuff on Senashira, and not only her, but also on Jaheira and Anomen we have potions of heroism that they are going to use in a second. Senashira is going to apply this protection from cold onto herself, because you know, there are more effective spells that Imoen could unleash in this fight, but I want to unleash that spell sequencer with that triple ice storm, kind of for the role-playing value of it. You know, like here in this domain of fire, I want to offer the opponents here some ice storms. I mean, that would make sense, right? They should enjoy that. So the roleplay value of it is more important than unleashing like these horrid wiltings first, for example, that we have prepared. She is probably going to get to unleashing them, but not immediately. And basically, just so Senashira is protected from these ice storms, she's going to be in the thick of battle. We are going to make her immune to cold. Of course, Jaheira needs the fire protections now that she is not wearing the fire resistance gear. Now it's going to be the time to chug these potions of heroism. They last for quite a while. They last for 2 hours. Right now we can sort our stuff a little bit, how we had it. Now, oh yeah, also I wanted a little bit of a safety net, and kind of to set up maybe like 2 traps on Kirinai, just in the corner here, in case we have to retreat from where we're fighting, and if we are getting too overwhelmed by all of the opponents, which probably will not happen, but you know, we can have a kind of a safety corner here to retreat to and offer a little bit of additional damage to our opponents. Now, let me just see here, what else when it comes to our buff durations. Alright, now I think is the time for summons. We want to summon them so that they can also benefit from our AoE buffs. We are going to haste, we are going to remove fear, so we want these summons to also get these effects. So the fire elemental should be, you know, pretty good here, because it's just a good creature, but these conjured animals, you'll see how terrible they are. Well, let's see if we even get... okay, we do get 2 of these bears. But there's basically nothing special about them. They only have 70 HP, and they have no resistances. They have pretty bad armor class and taco. It's just... they are just going to be complete cannon fodder here. But of course, you don't want to normally spend a level 6 memorization slot on just terrible cannon fodder. So that's why this spell normally does not get to see much use. But anyway, we're going to have them. And before we summon the Deva, which is not that long of a summon, the Deva, yeah, 4 rounds plus 1 round per level, so she's going to be up for 24 rounds, which is a good duration. I'm kind of exaggerating when it comes to the durations of pre-buffs and whatnot. I'm kind of a little bit too much OCD about it, perhaps, in most cases, but we're going to summon her in a little bit. Here we're just going to renew some of our long-time protections. The remove fear we're going to wait with for a moment, and we're going to buff up Anomen with his personal protections. And even though they last shorter than the Deva, I'm going to summon the Deva later, because I don't care about these personal protections as much as I care about the Deva. But of course the fights are going to be done way before any of these can expire on their own, I think. Anyway, what we also need to do now is give this protection from the elements. That gives 75 protection to fire, cold, electricity. We're going to give this to Anomen, and this is going to round up his different types of protections very nicely, especially once he pre-buffs himself with his Armor of Faith. So he's going to be immune to fire, and with Armor of Faith and protection from the elements, he's going to also be immune to cold. So he might also be standing in these ice storms. We'll see about that. Okay, we also might start buffing up a little bit with Senashira. She's going to get Blur. And later, she's going to also get... well, probably the next in line is going to be some mirror images. We'll see about that. We're also going to start buffing up a little bit with Kirinai, and also while we're here, let's change her weapons so she dual wields. And we're going to make a little killing machine out of Kirinai here with all of her buffs. She should be pretty resistant and effective at killing, and resilient, I guess, when it comes to the damage of her opponents. We're going to get a round of mirror images to our mages. Right, Kirinai has her mirror images, and we're going to wait with this Tensor's transformation a little bit. Now I think is the time to summon that Deva. Now let's continue with the buffs on Animan. Now the Deva here, you can see that she is pretty slow. That's one of the differences between the Deva and the Planetar. The Planetars are innately hasted, whereas the Deva isn't, so she is going to benefit from our haste spell. And also her spell selection compared to the Planetar, as you'll be able to see in like later episodes, I guess, when we start using Planetars, is also not as fantastic, but it's still good. She is level 25, so her Dispel magic is pretty effective. She has some heals, and you know, she can neutralize poison. She can cast all of this instantly, by the way, so she can like remove blindness or a nasty poison or something with neutralize poison. She can dispel nicely instantly. She is another source of remove fear, and we're actually going to buff up with her fear, not with Animan's, I think, just because our rounds kind of in this pre-buffing process are kind of stacked. And she also has Globe of Blades, which adds to her damage, and she wields that improved Maze of Disruption, so she is not going to be able to, you know, instantly kill any undead here, because there aren't any. But still, she has 100 resistance to basically everything. She has 70 magic resistance, so she's going to be very effective in this environment. She's essentially kind of like a 7th party member. Alright, so we have that on Animan. We should now dispense the regenerations, and I think the regenerations are going to go... Normally I would place one on Saravog, but, well, Saravog should not be dispelled where he's going, but we're going to have something better planned for him. So I think what we're going to do is give one regeneration onto Animan, and there's a question of giving the other one to either Jaheira or Kirinai, because Kirinai is going to have is going to end up with a large health pool, and she might be pretty vulnerable to attacks. Although her health pool is going to be so large that I think we're just going to leave her as she is, and perhaps heal her with Rod of Resurrection if that's necessary. So we're going to give regeneration to Animan, and then the other one to Jaheira, I think. Alright, let me just see if we need anything else. We can probably already start giving some other protections here with Armor of Faith on Jaheira. Alright, next up she's going to get a Potion of Invisibility because we have something planned for her. So make yourself invisible, my dear. And what else do we have here? I kind of, you know, there is so much buffage going on that I actually have some important key buffs that we need to apply. I actually have a little note here that I made for myself, not to forget anything. Yeah, I think now there's going to be a time to get improved haste on Senashira.
What is it?
And we're going to also get improved haste on Kirinai. She's going to be our little killing machine here. Alright, now you can give the cloak back to Jaheira. You can apply your own stuff. Next up we are going to haste everyone else with just a regular normal haste. Saravok might already apply his mirror images coming from Ilbratha. And I think we're going to be more or less ready. With some spell immunities to Abjuration on all the people that can. Kirinai is going to get Tensor's Transformation. Animan is going to get Drop on Holy Might. And our Deva is going to already apply Globe of Blades. Alright, now that Kirinai has Blur, Tensor's Transformation, all of these buffs. Okay, she has not applied that yet. Now that is in effect. So her armor class is now -13, her health pool 329, and you know, with improved haste, she also has 9 attacks, doing pretty good damage at pretty good Thaco. So yeah, we're going to be counting on her damage quite a bit. Now, is there anything else? Any last minute pre-buffs? I think on Saravak we might already activate Hardiness, and well, we're going to talk about his assignments, I think, once we have our opponents in his sights. I think this is going to be pretty much it. We're going to have Hardiness on Jaheira as well. Oh yeah, and you need Armor of Faith, you don't have one, right? Yeah, alright, and now we are going to be ready. By the way, Animan's stats are pretty good as well, 220 hit points with all of his buffs, very good Thaco. And yeah, I think this is going to be it. Alright, so Saravak is going to be unleashed upon Imix and his Burning Men companions, because of course he has the wave, and we've been really getting our money's worth with the wave here, wouldn't you say? But just seeing Saravak's wide grin when he just goes through all of these enemies, instantly kill them, that is priceless. that is of course what we are really after, what matters the most. Anyway, let's get our guys positioned a little bit, spread them out. I think Imoen is going to go... Oh yeah, we are going to, in general, have to go kind of into this southern portion. Alright, open the door, Saravak. Alright, so here we already have some fire giants. And basically why Jaheira is invisible is because you can cast Nature's Beauty without breaking invisibility. And of course, the fire giants, being berserkers, they are immune to many different debilitating effects, but they are not immune to blindness, and this spell applies blindness without any saving throw allowed. So this is going to be very successful against the fire giants, especially since we can mostly negate the downside of this spell, which is the casting time, which is not the longest, but it's still a substantial casting time that normally can leave Jaheira open to easy interruptions. But since she can cast it while being invisible, and the fire giants don't see invisible, she will be able to pretty safely apply that to at least a couple of them here. Of course, there are going to be Fel Cats, and also their cleric Baron can see invisible, so there is still a chance that she might get interrupted, but she's going to wait in invisibility for now, and wait for some of these guys to approach. Also, we are going to barge in with Senashira, and we're also going to have want to have Imoen kind of in range. Alright, here in the north, we need to enter with Saravak. Alright, so here's Imix. Who calls Imix Prince of Fire? Well, apparently Yaga-Shura was able to obtain your services somehow. There's going to be one Burning Man and another one further to the east. Now, this portion of this northern chamber is very heavily trapped, but it's kind of... Alright, Baron interrupts us. By the way, Baron, of course, name very similar to Berena Elkan, or Baron from Baldur's Gate 1. From Baldur's Gate City, there was a guy, Baron, spelled with an H here, but yeah, intruders in the sacred temple. The fire of our master can never be extinguished. Of course, referring to the fire that the heart of Yaga-Shura is bathed in. And there's already one Fel Cat showing himself up there. And Baron is a level 26 cleric with 228 HP, and he's going to have, of course, a high-level selection of pre-buffs, so that's going to surely include magic resistance spell, which is going to give him 40 magic resistance, and that's why we have one of these spell triggers prepared kind of for him. We might want to blind him. He is actually immune to silence, so unfortunately power word silence, which would be perfect for him, is not going to do anything. Now, when it comes to blindness, he has some neutralized poisons and stuff like that, but at least this is going to force him, if we have a spare round with Senashira who has Power Word Blind, we might cast it on Baron. So that's why we're going to reduce his magic resistance with Senashira's spell trigger first, in case we want to just affect him with any spells. Perhaps that... also those triple ice storms, I kind of want to unleash them on him to perhaps interrupt his spells. We'll see how this is all going to develop, but anyway, I also wanted to talk about Imix. Of course, we have the 2 burning men that we're going to quickly kill with Sarvok before engaging Imix. Also, this room is heavily trapped, but the floor tiles can be a nice help here, because this square floor tile kind of gives us a nice indication, because there's one trap along this border and one trap here. There's also one trap down here somewhere, and there's another floor tile like this one to the east that has another trap, but we're not going to get too close to there. But basically the point of this explanation is that we have to avoid this and this place, so Sarvok is going to go through the northern side here to deal with these burning men with his wave halberd. Also, it's pretty funny, but Imix also instantly dies from the wave halberd, but you know, he doesn't seem to me like a creature who is supposed to die to that kind of thing. Like, you can just instantly kill him. But, you know, as a powerful elemental prince, we are going to give him, you know, a little bit more of a chance and assume that he shouldn't really be susceptible to such an effect, and we're going to switch to Sarvok's sword in a second to battle Imix. And basically, Imix has a couple of special abilities. First off, he can cast Starfire, which is kind of like a wing buffet of a dragon that also deals heavy fire damage and knocks you away and can knock you unconscious. He also can unleash periodically firestorms upon any party member of yours that is near his vicinity. So he can unleash 6 firestorms at the same time if you would have your whole party around him. And also, he has a Dispel magic of level 15 on his attack, and he has some greater virulent attacks, making him, you know, strike 10 times in a round. So even though that Dispel magic is only level 15, it can still dispel a lot of buffs. So basically, but his one weakness, well, kind of quote-unquote weakness, is his physical damage. Because even with these, you know, whirlwind attacks, he would be able to deal some good damage, but Sarvok is equipped with Roranax's Horn, which gives him crushing resistance, you know, of 50, and that's the type of damage that Imix deals. And also with his hardiness activated, he gets another 40, so he is 90% resistance to crashing damage of Imix, and because his fire resistance comes from gear, it cannot be dispelled by Imix. And hardiness is a warrior ability that is undispellable as well. So basically, Sarvok is almost completely protected against anything that Imix can do to him, and that's why he is going to solo this whole portion of the fight.
Yes.
Actually, let's keep going with Senashira. Let's have Imoen kind of not too close to any other fire giants. We don't really want to get their attention on Imoen, but her spell trigger is going to be unleashed on the dragon that's soon going to join the encounter, and we can just kind of go and try to fight some of these fire giants in the meantime. And I think, oh yeah, we don't want to go through here because there's a trap here. Let's go a little bit further to the south. Be careful of that. And here we have to manually guide Sarvok through through these traps and whatnot. So let's just quickly deal with this burning man. All right. So Imix used greater whirlwind attack. Whirlwind. Now let's check here. Let's keep moving with our mages. Wow, Mountain Bear got a critical hit for 36. The one good thing about the Mountain Bears is that they have 3 attacks per round, and with haste they have 4, so they might be able to do some damage if they get lucky with some critical strikes. But anyway, let's get back to Sarvok. Let's go onto this floor tile like we are supposed to, and instantly kill this burning man here. Alright, Baron, did your pre-buffs trigger yet? No. Alright, we don't care about you then. Alright, here we're fighting, everything's cool. Let's get rid of this burning man. Alright, that's it. And here we're going to position Sarvok in case he gets knocked back. I don't want him to get knocked back in like any bad position. We're going to just have him here, switch to our sword, and then deal with Imix in a second. Alright, now Baron's pre-buffs are starting to trigger, but we also want to... well, here, in this situation, we want to, of course, prioritize the fell cats that can screw things up for us big time. if we get our fire resistance drained too much. So let's actually prioritize them with everyone. And let's have Senashira... Where are you, dragon? Where is he hiding? Alright, there he is. So it's Brimstone. It's kind of a red dragon similar to Firkrag. He has 552 HP, standard 25 physical resistance that dragons have. He has 65 magic resistance, so we're going to be able to dispel 60. In case we want to affect him with some spells, we're going to see about that. He might also have some pre-buffs, so we are going to use probably Imoen's Pierce Magic, yeah, to actually... yeah, that was the point. Basically, we're going to have the... well, let me back up a little bit, because there's so many things to explain. Just as a reminder, lower resistance for us is going to lower the magic resistance of a target by 30%. And we have 2 loaded up in our spell triggers, so we can reduce someone's magic resistance by 60, and that's... Senashira's spell trigger has Secret Word and double lower resistance, and that's going to go on to Baron to wipe him clean out of his magic resistance. And Imoen has Pierce Magic, which also is going to add a little bit of lower resistance and dispel any spell protections that, or one of the spell protections that this dragon might have. Also, as a red dragon, of course, he has his Fire Breath that is going to deal major fire damage if we are not protected against it. He has his Wing Buffet, he has his Dragon Fear, and he has some spells that he can unleash instantly. And he, of course, hits like a truck with his 25 strength and whatnot. But he has 552 HP, 25% physical resistance, and 65 magic. Oh yeah, Imix, I forgot to say. He has 480 HP. He has 85 magic resistance, so we're not even going to, try to do anything to him magical. They are, of course, all of these creatures are, of course, immune to fire, and they sometimes have other resistances too, like Imix also is has 50 electricity resistance, I think, and some physical. But anyway, now we can kind of engage him with Saravak, have fun there. And, yeah, Baron's pre-buffs. Now let's check them out. I think all of them triggered. Yeah, he has magic resistance. He doesn't seem to have Shield of the Archons. He does have Physical Mirror, but we're not going to be really using range damage on him anyway. Alright, let's move in with Imoen. There are also traps here and there, kind of guarding this pool of lava where Yaga-Shura's heart is, so we have to be careful not to step into those traps as well. And there's this one trap here, kind of going from this pillar down. So, yeah, we kind of we have to be kind of careful with all the traps. Let's actually move with everybody to the southern portion of the map. And here, let's unleash this spell trigger onto Baron. Alright, now Brimstone triggered his pre-buffs. He's going to be hasted. He has Spell Deflection. Let's see what else he has there. He himself also has lower fire resistance on Senashira. Okay, Imix has his Fire Shield that he just renews always. You cannot dispel it. Alright, Saravak is dealing some damage to him. Everything is going fine here, it seems. Let's just check our... Yeah, that's, I think, an Abjuration spell, so... this lower fire resistance. Yeah, I think it's the same as normal lower resistance. And so we are protected against that with Senashira. Now that we have unleashed this spell trigger, Baron's magic resistance is going to be wiped out. We might want to consider affecting him with some spells soon. And also, I have ruined my plan with Jaheira, because she is not invisible anymore because I, selected everyone to attack the giants. But I think we are dealing with them. I think I might have summoned too much stuff. I think our damage, our physical damage, is so powerful that this Nature's Beauty I'm going to have to showcase in a different encounter. I don't think it would be really all that powerful, especially since these fire giants are so spread out. I wanted to get some more value out of this blindness, and I don't want to go to the east because she can get interrupted by the dragon, or Baron could interrupt her. Well, we'll see about that. We're going to go with Kirinai actually and get to Baron, try to interrupt him. And now that the dragon's protections are active, let's unleash our spell trigger onto him. so that his magic resistance is going to be wiped out and his spell deflection is going to be wiped out. So we might want to breach his stone skins that he might want to renew. We'll see about that. I think he, even though it doesn't say, I think he might have starting stone skins. We're going to see looking at our damage. What's going on? Alright, Dragon, stop running from Senashira. She is supposed to be your target. Oh yeah, and also there's one more fell cat. So actually, let me just see if we were able to interrupt the Baron. Or if he cast anything. I think this is still underway. Because I would like to have Kiranai aid us when it comes to this fell cat. I think I might have to first kill it with Senashira, because her fire protection, of course, fire resistance, is very important. Alright, Baron was interrupted. Now let's move Kiranai over there. Alright, the dragon seems to want to attack Imoen, which is not that great because, you know, she is going to be able to tank well with her protection from magical weapons against the dragon, but I kind of wanted to unleash some other spells with her. And let's see like how Sarvak is doing here. Barely injured. I just want to showcase that yeah, Imix deals 2 damage to Sarvak with his 90% crushing resistance, and of course he cannot dispel Sarvak's fire resistance because it doesn't come from any spell or anything like that, but from his gear. I think I'm kind of repeating myself, but that's kind of cool how Sarvak is protected. Alright, Baron cannot do anything for a round. Now, is this fell cat? He is injured. Okay, the dragon is really in.
What is it? This will not take long.
His intentions are pretty clear here when it comes to following Imoen. That's just kind of not cool. Actually, she has mirror images and stone skins. I think we can forego 1 round of casting and actually unleash the ice storms onto Baron, just for that role-playing value of it. Alright, we are going to have to now spend 1 round on Senashira's protection from magic weapons. She needs that against all of these fire giants, the dragon, potentially, basically everything. Alright, now Senashira is protected, the fell cat is no more. We can just continue with our damage onto the fire giants, I think. Alright, this one is dead. Now, we kind of want to maneuver not into this trap where Baron is right now, so let's kind of get our party and move. Well, there's a trap right here. It's kind of difficult moving around here if you don't want to spend time with your thief disarming traps as this fight is going on, but our thieves, of course, have more important things to do, like Imoen is also a mage, and Kiranai is our killing machine in this encounter, so we want to maximize their damage. And actually, to that effect, Kiranai might want to use her Kai. Alright, our Ice Storm is unleashed. Now, does Tensor's transformation block Kai? This kind of takes her a while to activate it. I don't think it's going to matter either way. Anyway, we kind of don't want our summons to be in these ice storms. Yes, he got some damage, and even the dragon, of course, with their nullified magic resistance, and that even interrupted his spell. See? Not only role-playing value here, but also gameplay reasons. As you can see, we have achieved something with our level 4 ice storms. Anyway, I think Imoen, before she can cast again, let's just add some damage to this elite fire giant. Alright, so Sarvak got knocked back in the meantime by Imix's Starfire, but he's doing well. He is fine with his health. Okay, Animan. I think we can go in with him. Because the dragon can cast remove magic, but of course his buffs are high level or high enough level that it shouldn't really matter too much. He should be pretty resistant to that. And I think we might even have Jaheira add some of her damage also, not just her potential being wasted by standing there. Right, also, what I wanted to do is perhaps use that power word blind on Baron, and I think, yeah, this is who I'm targeting. We're going to use that from Senashira. And from Imoen, I think once she can cast, she might want to unleash a nice Horrid Wilting in the middle of it to deal some damage to Baron and the dragon. Oh, Baron still has magic resistance. I think he has a innate 20 magic resistance. Oh, that's too bad. That failed. We weren't really counting on that. It would debuff his armor class a little bit and make him less effective in combat, but like I said, he would be able to remove the blindness. And pretty easily. Right, Breach was cast on Jaheira, so some of her stuff got dispelled, but she still has regeneration going. She should be fine, although she doesn't have Iron Skins anymore. And she doesn't have her Armor of Faith, so we might want to renew some of that. At least Armor of Faith here. Alright, now we can go back. Our Horrid Wilting is on its way. Saravok is doing well. This Elite Fire Giant is about to die. There we go. And Sir Animan, I don't want you to be standing in this trap. This trap might have been activated anyway, but you know, let's try to do things the proper way. All right, our Horrid Wilting is on its way. All right, it was able to do some nice damage. Brimstone has a contingency with Stone Skin, and I don't think we have any breaches left on our mages just to cast, but we can take advantage of Kirinai's use any item, and we can give her a scroll of breach just to make our job a little bit easier. I don't think it's really necessary. With all of our damage here, we would be able to... I think, now that I think about it, I think I'm not going to use the scroll. We have quite a few of them left still, but with all of our damage here coming onto this dragon, we'll be able to cut through his Stone Skins very quickly. Oh, and you see, Mountain Bear providing a nice distraction. Baron actually damaging the Mountain Bears instead of one of our party members. He is near death. We should direct some damage onto him. Maybe Senashira. I don't want to step into that trap just to, you know, do this fight nicely, but it might have been triggered somewhere in the middle of this madness. And there are firestorms going on here with Imix. I'm not really keeping track of his abilities, but like I said, he can unleash firestorms onto any party members of ours that are near him. So that's just Saravok in our case here. Of course, we're dealing cold damage to our own party members and summons as well, but Baron should be really close to death now. And I would like to perhaps direct Animan in there. Alright, Baron just died. Now there's a remove magic going on to Jaheira. We'll see how effective it's going to be. Of course, we're protected with Senashira, and generally our buffs from scrolls were dispelled, so Kirinai is not a killing machine anymore. And Jaheira still has her regeneration, which is the most important thing. Her Armor of Faith got dispelled again, but this is about to be the end for this dragon. Actually, we might as well cast another Horrid Wilting to help with our damage a little bit. I know I left that Deva somewhere to the west, but it's kind of on purpose. I didn't direct her, you know, anywhere, just so that we can do this ourselves. Oh, here we can see Starfire cast by Imix, Feel the Wrath of Imix. And that's going to likely knock back Saravok a little bit. But he is in the corner, he's doing fine. Imix is near death. Brimstone is near death. And boom! Now he He has achieved death. He is no more near it. Okay, and Imix died as well. So we get 50,000 experience for Imix, only 24,000 for that dragon, and Baron is worth, I think, about 40 and a half. It couldn't have just been 40,000. 40,500. That's that's important. Yeah, so that's it. That's our encounter. Whoa! It's already been 40 minutes, dude. What? I wanted to do more things in this episode, and you know what? We are going to do more things in this episode, no matter how long it takes. So anyway, that went pretty smoothly. Now is actually the time to disarm some of these traps, and this is going to be a little test of truth to see which ones we have triggered. This one was triggered, I guess. Also, we might de-equip Kirnai and help in that trap detection effort. Okay, it wasn't. It's a little bit more to the right from where I thought it was. There are going to be 2 of these traps blocking our way to Yaga-Shura's heart. One of them is here, one of them is over there. Let's actually check out if this trap was activated or not. And there is also one more, whoops, near here, near this door. Oh wow, look at that. We didn't even activate that trap. That's how you do things. That's how we do things around here. No traps sprung, even in in this place. And yeah, here I'm actually not going to disarm them, just so you can see how these... This is what I use, just to remember where these traps are. I've just used the floor tile here, the main one, just to remember that there are 2 traps over here, and there's this floor tile, and there's a trap over there. Alright, here is Yaga-Shura's bed, actually, believe it or not. We're going to get some info about it, and there's a stash that's also trapped. Alright, and now let's bunch up. Before we do anything else, we need to make sure that we're going to be able to swiftly kill a certain person that I don't like the attitude of. And I think our haste just expired, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Yes, without doubt. What is it?
But even without haste, I think we should be good.
I no longer have immortal energies to sustain me. I tire.
Even Sarawak needs rest, apparently. I'm just kind of thinking whether I want to use some oils of speed or not. We are definitely going to switch to our ranged weapons for this one. I think even on Anomen, even on Jaheira, we're going to make sure that we can kill this person before she gets away, and I think Senashira is going to get an oil of speed, just so she can get in there with her
I await your command.
with her Chrome Fair.
This will not take long.
Now let's go in.
Your end shall be quick, if you let it.
Alright, so here's this slave woman. You there, human, release me from these chains. Who are you? What does my name matter? I am in need of help. Release my chains at once. So already we don't like the way she is trying to conduct this conversation with us. Maybe I should just leave you here. Wait, I have information. Release me and I will tell you what I know about the master of this place, the fire giant Yaga-Shura. Right, very well. Yeah, so she is in our debt, even though it galls her. We get some experience for that. Ask your questions, human, and I will answer them as best I may. But be quick. I desire to escape before the master of this place returns. So, who is she, first of all? I should cut your tongue out for your impertinence, but since I have no weapon, and since you did save my life... See? Strike 2, at least. My name is Alastra, a warrior from the northern lands. I had heard legends of Yaga-Shura, a child of Bhaal, born unto a giantess. I came to this place to see if the legends were true. I thought you had been kidnapped. You simple fool. Strike 3, at least. I came here to join Yaga-Shura, to offer my sword to his service, to follow the mighty giant as his army laid waste to the Southlands. I wanted to become part of his unstoppable war machine, to revel in the slaughter, to have my blade drip with the blood of all those Yaga-Shura crushed beneath his mighty boot. And instead you wound up as his pleasure slave. How ironic. The fire giants in this temple are short-sighted fools. They recognize my warrior skills, but saw me only as a potential mate for Yaga-Shura, and chance for him to further spread Bhaal's seed. But now they are dead, and I yet survive. My only regret is that I could not kill Yaga-Shura's followers with my own hands. I have nothing more to say on this matter. Yeah, we can ask her to tell about Yaga-Shura. I have heard the legends. Yaga-Shura cannot be defeated. He is immune to all weapons and magic. He is invincible. Perhaps this is true. You sound like you have your doubts. Yaga-Shura is not so stupid as to share his secrets with me, but I have been here many months, and I have overheard bits and pieces of many conversations. I have heard mention of a name from Yaga-Shura's past, Nayeli, an old crone who lives in the marshes of the Forest of Mir. She may know Yaga-Shura's secrets. So basically, if you come here first, I guess she confirms that Forest of Mir is a location that you do want to explore. And I also know Yaga-Shura is obsessed with a golden chest he keeps beneath his bed, or keeps hidden beneath his bed. So I guess she means that stash. Unfortunately, this is the full extent of what I have been able to learn in my captivity. Alright, we can still ask her some questions. She is not going to be willing to join our group. Your instincts are not wrong. I am a veteran warrior of many battles, but I have no desire to stay in this land. Once your questions are done, I will return to my northern home. And we can say, I don't like... Well, whenever we release her or use this, she's just going to attempt to go away. And that is our chance, these few precious seconds, to kill her for everything that she has said to us. I don't like your attitude. You best not anger me, considering you have no weapons or armor. If I had my armor and weapons, you would be dead now, scum. But only a fool engages in battle they cannot win. The wise warrior flees to fight another day. Well, hopefully you are not going to be able to flee.
Retreat. Oh, yes.
Alright, no problem. Even a nice explosion to brighten our day.
Yes. Will be done.
Oh, how nice. A potion of magic shielding, even.
Time to move. All right, all right.
Alright, another container that we had to disarm.
What is it? Certainly.
Alright, so now we are done with this place.
Speak.
I think these doors only open, yeah, from the other side. But anyway, now, before we end, there's our fire elemental. Before we end, let's just properly loot the place. From these containers, there are some minor goodies. But some of them, especially the one in the east, the last one here, I think it contains, yeah, the last star sapphire that we need, also a diamond if you need one. Boom, let's open that passage. And there's also a King's Tears, but we already have one for the purposes of crafting. That's basically what I'm referring to here. We need a specific set of gems for all of our crafting needs, and we are almost done. We just need one rogue stone, I think. And yeah, there are some potions of fire giant strength on the ground for some reason. And now there's the loot from the fire giants. Here died Baron, and he has a very notable thing. Alright, he has the emerald and the rogue stone that are used for crafting. We already have the emerald, but there's our rogue stone. Actually,
Yes.
well, let's just teleport everyone here, because I want to
What is it?
sort our gems already. We're going to give this star sapphire and this rogue stone to Kirinai. And yeah, just we can nicely sort everything. Right, and he also has this Baldur's Claw that is used to upgrade the Axe of the Unyielding that we have yet to obtain because it's in Watcher's Keep.
Pick it up yourself. I'll carry no more.
Don't be sassy with me, Sarvok. Don't give me any lip, peasant. Alright, I think this is all. So, now let's approach Yaga-Shura's heart. And we can remove it, we get a lot of experience for that. And now we have Yaga-Shura's still beating heart, I guess. Yeah, the flames extinguish as the beating heart is removed. The heart burns us, but this is, of course, needed to make sure that Yaga-Shura is not invulnerable anymore. Oh yeah, we should not be going through all this. These larger pools of lava still can dish out some fire damage,
What is it?
but I just want to make sure to sort our stuff correctly. Yeah, let's just punch up first.
Yes, I fear nothing.
Yes.
Alright, so here finally we get the Bag of Plenty with unlimited +1 bullets. For some reason this one is only available now. If you remember, the quiver with the arrows and the case with the bolts was in Watcher's Keep on level 1, so you can get those in Shadows of Amn very early if you want to. But the bullets apparently were just for some reason separated, and we are going to be able to upgrade that to +2. We also found in that stash in his bed, we've found this other beating heart, and this is of course the heart of Nile that he kept hidden. And we also have Yaga-Shura's journal that we might want to read some entries out of that one. Yeah, he has been hunting ball spawn in the Kalim desert. It's pretty funny. Was almost ashamed to eat his heart, but rules are rules. The wraiths that were loaned to me turned out to be useful. I have the old hag's heart now, and she's helpless against Yaga-Shura. Foolish, presumptuous woman. May she rot in that infernal swamp of hers. So yeah, he was able to use the wraiths, I guess, that lingered, I guess, around the Bhaal temple to kind of steal the heart of Nile. And this is, of course, what this excerpt refers to. Most of the spawn that are left are collected in Saradush now, where we want them. Only a few stragglers to pick off once the city walls are overcome, which is only a matter of time. So this is also an important thing, where we want them. So apparently this is part of some kind of a plan that most of the Bhaal spawn would end up in Saradush, that Yaga-Shura would destroy. Ylacera was chosen to be the one to go after the powerful Bhaal spawn, the straggler. What is her name? Senashira? Yaga-Shura should have been the one chosen. The fool would have stood no chance. But now is not the time to disobey orders. Yaga-Shura can bide his time. So yeah, apparently there are some orders coming from even higher than Yaga-Shura, but he of course has his own plans, and we of course know how Ylacera fared against us, so I guess he was right after all. Whoops!
I've been developing some more abilities. Ball abilities. Like your own. I don't mean to, they just come. Although I don't think they're very strong.
Anyway, this is very fortunate. I pressed number 1 to select Senashira, but just as this dialogue about Imoen's developing powers triggered. But this is fortunate because I would use this conversation option anyway to ask more about the abilities. Just some minor spell-like powers, although there's nothing I could do normally with my own magic. I think there's spells only priests could cast, usually. Yeah, so of course she's referring to her Bhaal spawn powers that are generally not very strong. They are going to be upgraded a little bit by Ascension, of course. Plus, I've been going through some physical changes as well. I notice I'm getting stronger and faster, for instance, but they aren't natural changes. Yeah, and this is where she gets +1 strength, so that's what this is referring to. Don't worry, Imoen. This will all be over soon. I hope so. I suppose this has to be resolved one way or another. I guess until then, we're kinda stuck with one another, huh? Yeah, so let's check out Imoen. Yeah, now she has 10 strength, and that gives her a little bit more carrying capacity, which is really, really nice. Finally, Imoen can not be encumbered so easily. We're going to be able to give her some more potions, and whatever she has to carry, this is going to be a little bit more... a little bit more of a convenience upgrade for us. Alright, here we have Scroll of Improved Mantle and this Stone Golem page, which is going to be used to upgrade our Golem Summoning Manual that I think we have stashed for now. Yeah, we're going to be able to upgrade our Flesh Golem to a Stone one. I think, though, first comes the Clay Golem upgrade. That is from Watcher's Keep. Anyway, we'll see about all that. Now we are truly done with Yaga-Shura's temple. We have killed everything, looted everything, and we are going to continue our adventures in the next episode. So as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you there.